G'day. Now this is my previous life of the late 1800s, early 1900s. They're only recent. Okay, and this is before all these stupid little things with Patrick Dunbar and Graham Thorne. You see, when I was Albert Waldron, I was a great footy player, but the thing about it is that it was the late 1800s, and Albert Waldron was like us, man, and I mean he was treated like the only Norwood footballer who was told he had to party instead of going back home to his family. Now, and Albert didn't want this, but his best mate said, no, you have to come. Your family doesn't respect you for who you actually are. But Albert Waldron, who was me, said he needed to get home to his family. But his mate said, no, you are coming with us. You see, we like you and we want you to go. Come and celebrate victories with. And then Albert said back to his mate, my family needs me. But his mate said, no, you are still like us, Albert. You are still like us, Albert. Us. We like you, and you have to come with us and get drunk. And have a few beers, as well as get out our motorbikes, and then we call you our Betty. And after that, we grabbed your feet and said, you are like us, and you need to stay with us. So nobody can actually notice where you actually are. And as you left the bar, we went home, and don't try to be a family person, mate, because you're like us now, Albert Waldron. Us! You see, you call out to me from all over the road, from my 1980s apartment, and it drove me bloody nuts. And it was an image from the 1800s that in this life came into the form of Patrick Dunbar, which was Buddha's reign. And when it went into his body and made it do it in a nasty way, he said, you're like us. And then you just stuck with the family. You ain't like us, so we're calling it you Bryony for the rest of your life. But Bryony, what does that really mean? Meant was an image from when Albert Waldron's days, because when Albert Waldron played for Norwood, everyone liked Albert Waldron. They think he's just like us. They trained with him, and then they tease him and stop him from being a family person. But really, Albert Waldron was a man for the community, like I am, and he helps people just like I do. And all the people outside were saying to Albert Waldron that he still isn't like them, man, and he never wanted them over to be like them. You know, don't be like them. Don't be like them voices. No matter how much he tried to get this image, and this image came into his current life's mate's mouth, calling out to him, saying, I am still not like them. And they also say Albert that he wasn't like them at all. Wasn't like them at all. But he had to muck with him because they forced him to. Because if he mucked with him, he would be called a yeah mate, yeah kid. And then Albert Waldron said he was like us. But if Albert tried to be like his friends, they say, Albert, you will never be like us. This is the early 1990s, and in the 1990s, you're forced to have a few beers without drinking too much. You see, the voice was driven into the image of a couple of 1800s hooligans who told him that his family wasn't like us anymore, and they want him to be like us, or like his family to them. But I know that the old friends, and just one friend said to me, and nothing more, he wasn't like the kids, and he wasn't like the men or any tough kid, and he treated like a man, and he wanted to be a good friend to me. and he was still a family person, because he was in a cool and poor family of hooligans, and they were very nice to him. And Albert Waldron's life in Adelaide in 1890 to the 1900s, when we were enjoying playing for the Norwood Redlegs. Go the Reddies! And all the hooligans tried to keep them from mucking with him by saying, don't muck with him here, because he plays footy. And that's right. It's a pretty good story. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.